Hello, my lovely ones, and welcome to another installment from Nina here at Rafaela Soul Sessions. I've been trying to get this information out all week. I have been taking a break from social media. I have been very much going back into my own life, my own self, and going inward, which I think has been very helpful for me recently. I think I mentioned in my last video that I had a shamanic journey, and it was very, very powerful. And I think that's what kind of prompted me to go into this sort of inward space of really trying to make sense of it all. So it was good. It's a good thing to do, and us healers have to take care of ourselves as well. So it was very, very beneficial thing to do. So really, the real reason why I'm here, I am wanting to bring information to you about a session I just did with a client. I mentioned it before that I was going to do a video about this session. So yes, she came to me because she was really wanting to have more understanding of what her blocks to do with money were about, and also she wanted to become more balanced with her spiritual aspects and her on earth third dimensional aspects. So she really wanted more clarity on that. And she also wanted to deal with some issues, physical issues she was having with her back. And so we got a few questions down and got the induction process underway. And when we got through the induction process, so I'm just going to read here. I'm going to read this to you. So apologies for it not just coming off the cuff from the heart, but I want to try and get the information to you as accurately as possible. So I'm going to be reading the information that I've transcribed. So once we'd gone through the induction, this is where she felt she was in the stars. She didn't have a body. She was just part of everything, a bit like a part of her brain connected to everything. She felt very safe. She felt there was a lot of colors around her within the dark space she was in. There was no worries. There wasn't a single worry that was coming to her. She said you didn't have to shine or do anything. You can just be. And then she saw lots of tunnels, which seemed to me a bit like portholes, and just this huge sense of calm that was over her. So then she began to describe what she felt was like she was looking into almost like a rear view mirror from a car. So she was looking in the mirror at what's behind her. So she said there was a sickness. There was people in beds with sickness. And she said they had heavy covers over them. She could feel the heaviness of the covers, like when you've got heavy blankets on you. So heavy that she was struggling to breathe. And then she kind of came to the realization that actually she was in this bed and she had heavy blankets over her. She was a young girl and there was something wrong with her lungs. She was about 12 years old, a female, but said she felt it would have been better if she'd been male. She felt she would have been in a better state if she'd been male. There was no mother around. She was not alone. There was somebody in a chair. She felt it was like a servant perhaps, and they were just to kind of watch her. She said she felt she was about to make the transition. She felt like she was going to pass on. She was alone, and she was very scared. She felt like she'd just been kind of left there to die. There was a fire at the bottom of her feet, and that the reason why that came up is quite symbolic. That comes up again later in the session. She didn't know where her family was. She felt she was an orphan, that perhaps her mum had passed on and had left her with her aunt and uncle to look after her. But she said she hadn't been treated well. She'd been neglected. The other children that were in the house, their biological children, were well looked after. So she passed on. She made the transition, and as I was taking her through the death process, I was asking her to, take her last breath and tell me what was going on for her. And she said she was very scared, as in her body she felt very, very like physically scared as I was telling her to pass on. But she said once she had passed on, there was just this huge sense of relief, and her mother was there waiting for her, and there was just this joy and this happiness that emanated from her. It was just this huge relief that she wasn't in that uncomfortable space, that feeling of being completely alone and lost. Had all just lifted. She was happy, she was calm, she was peaceful. She said she felt very connected again to the earth. She said she felt as her body was being buried, she felt this connection, this grounding to earth. And also there was an understanding with the family that she had been living with, that they had previously just lost a child before she went to live with them. I think she was about 4 when she went to live with them. So she they took it quite hard, having this other child in the house. So there was a lot of forgiveness and a lot of understanding that was done during that part of the session, which I think was very helpful. We moved through the life between lives section of this session, and then a guide appeared. She said she could feel a soulful being, as she had discussed with me in the pre-talk. She felt she'd been drawn to a crystal, which she felt had some kind of guide attached to it. This was the guide. And I asked if there was a message from this guide, and it was that gentleness is the way through life. When you're being gentle, you will always get somewhere. Gentleness and patience come hand in hand. When you can be gentle, you can be patient. The guide went on to say that when she's working with others, she has that gentle patience, but she doesn't always have it with herself. And this guide is here to bring her to that gentle patience within herself, which is why she was drawn to that crystal. Yes, the guide went on to say everything should be done and said in a gentle way. There is never any need for negativity. If you are in your true energetic flow, to remember that we humans are not the only ones, and to remember that human is not the only life form that she has had. So stop trying to understand and trust. I then asked what the name of this guide was, and she introduced herself as Malachi. So I asked, why we'd sort of come to this space and what the reason for this interaction was. She said, you've come to this space to remember that life is an infinite source, a source more beautiful than life itself. To remember that through the darkness brings light. Without the darkness, there can be no light. Everything she sees on the earth plane as darkness she blocks, and truly the darkness is the light. I asked if she had always been with the soul. She says yes, but not always in the lifetime. They'd agreed to meet up only in sort of certain circumstances. Yeah, she went on to say, I am here also from the universe to help save mankind and to plant seeds of light and to plant seeds of darkness, because really darkness is the light. I come from the stars, from the universe, from the source of all that is. I am from Raven, that looks like the darkness. We have been called upon for service for the ones that work in the light. We help them to help other souls to move forward to the passions of life within their soul. I asked how we as individuals can get more connected to the passions within our souls. And the answer that came through was slow down every day. The human bodies that govern you don't want you to be speeding around. Shops, leisure centres, gyms, fast foods, they're meant to keep you going, meant to keep you at a high pace. When you're at that high pace, you forget the peace and the power that lies within. You live only within the physical realms. This will not likely save mankind. This will not bring anything together. It will not bring peace to your soul. This is what I bring forward. So then I kind of moved on and asked, if there was any advice for people who were ascending at this time. And she said, crystals are a good thing. They have been planted to come to you within your hours of need. They have been left on Mother Earth to be sourced. The colors, the healing, the energy within them brings together your universe within. We recommend working with crystals on a weekly basis. I will tell you to work with 3 crystals. 1, who you are. 2, who you see yourself as. And 3, who you are becoming. Working with your feelings, this can help you with absolutely anything. Clear quartz, she was saying, using clear quartz with clear intent that you can see through. She went on to say, genuinity is not a word on your plane, but being genuine to yourself and others is also the best way to move forward in the ascension process. For every human soul in existence, many are ascended masters walking the earth and are not used to the heavy energy. This is where the pain comes in, and also the back pain that the client was experiencing. We cannot deal with the energies on the earth plane associated with the root chakra. This is best for many on the ascension path. So this is a test for many that are on this path. And so I wanted some more clarity on that, because I wasn't sure that the words that she had said had really sort of come together and made sense. So I said, is the physical pain that people experience due to the density of being on Earth at this time, when the lights and the codes and the energy that are coming to Earth are are so light and we are so dense. She said, of course, and of the other human energy around you, that's, it's also very dense. They are giving off this kind of dense energy, and they're unaware of this, and it's like a kind of radiation for your systems. She said it's fine to spend time alone and away from those who are not ascending at the same level. She gave an example, like, so many in shopping centers are like a magnet for souls who aren't ascending. So you kind of suck in not only your own kind of dense energy, but other people's dense energy as well. I then asked if this was, an aspect of my client's higher self that she was speaking. She said, no, this is still the guide Malachi. We then began to ask some of her questions, and I'll not go into detail about what her questions were because that's sort of private information. But it was kind of along the lines of understanding this flow of money and the blocks around money, understanding that, money is energetic. And so if we spend money as if we are helping someone, we are helping put food on their table, or, helping them get through their day, then that same energy is going to be returned to us. It's that kind of law of attraction kind of, it's just another source of energy, but when it's used alongside power, that's when it gets power and control. That's when that's how the world has gotten the way it's got, isn't it? So there was then a question about how my client specifically could handle being within the third density and also being a very spiritual person, how she could bring balance to that. And Malachi said, I wish that at this time I had a face and you could see that I would be smiling. This is our main lesson for going back and forward to Earth, is to try and balance them both within us. For, as you know, many masters find this such hard work. So after that, we went on to find out a little bit about the purpose that my client was here for, and it was to bring forward the Christ consciousness, but not in a Bible sense or the traditional religious sense. The information that really life is eternal, and because my client is a celebrant, and she deals with people who have just transcended. She deals with people who are just about to transcend. She also works with children. So it's being able to bring that life is eternal message to these people who are about to transcend, to lessen the strain and stress and worry of being about to cross over and take that next step of eternal life. And this was really her purpose, just to help people combat the fear of death. So this is why she was shown the lifetime that she was shown of being the little girl in the bed, very, very scared and worried about, feeling completely alone and unwell and about to pass over, and very, very scared as she was taking her last breath. But then only for that to be completely melt away, and for her soul to be reunited with her mother, the spirit of her mother. And to do a complete 360 on on the way she was feeling, from being completely scared to just completely overjoyed that she was reunited with the spirit of her mother, which was really, really beautiful. So I went on, we got through the questions fairly quickly. There wasn't that many questions. So I decided to ask some more information about, how we can help our physical bodies and how we can help ourselves at this time. So she said to drink water, which it's a message coming through quite a lot at the moment. Also, we cleanse crystals in the water, but also, use the crystals within the water as an elixir. It can be a very, very beneficial way to help our systems. So this is her advice, hold 3 crystals in one hand and the water in the other. Say the intention that you have for this process and drop the crystals one by one into the water. If you share this water with friends or people around you, it can be very, very powerful, even more powerful than it would if you were just having it alone, and even more powerful than alcohol or any other drugs that you would take with people. She said it can take you even further. Also, the advice was to lose the clocks. Clocks, time, all man-made. The soul will always remember what it needs to do and where it needs to be, which is interesting. I guess time is all over the place at the moment. So yeah, I think we on this planet are definitely questioning what really is time. So that's quite interesting. I asked where humanity was headed at this time, and she said humanity is headed upwards. There are many with magical powers. Humanity is changing. And the advice was, and this was very strong advice, keep away from the political news media side of things. Use yourself. Each group of souls is moving at separate rates. So she was kind of describing, like, if you were a group 5, you would be moving at a different rate as a group 4 or a group 3. So that's just good to bear in mind that not everybody is kind of their awareness and their ascension is not moving all at the same time. So just to be very aware of that. And also just keep it in our minds that not everybody is here to be on the ascension path. So not everybody is here to wake up. And I think some people can get quite stuck on that sometimes. Everybody wants to let's wake everyone up right now. Not everybody is here to be woken up. So don't concern yourself too much with what is going on outside of you. Go within, basically. Yeah. I asked about the event as well, because that is coming into my awareness quite a lot at the moment. The event is moving forward to the process of light. Golden and green are the colors we bring forward at this time in the event for the heart and for universal consciousness. Now that makes a lot of sense for me, as I personally had a session where I experienced being my own heart's consciousness. And then I did a session for someone where it was all about this golden energy, this golden dragon energy that was coming to Earth at this moment. So that completely ties in to other information that I've gathered. So the event is all going according to plan, and you should have faith that all will be well. Many that are ascending at this time are great lights, and for every great light, there is a darkness in your land. Which is a good one to think about, I think. Everything is sort of moving and shifting, and I think the more we engage with the things that are keeping us in that fear state, the more we're perpetuating that fear state. And I think the more we disconnect from that and go within ourselves, the faster we as a species will be able to advance. This is my own personal feeling on the matter. I then got some gorgeous information for myself. As a practitioner, they commended me and congratulated me for being able to keep this, they called her child, this client, in such a relaxed state for a prolonged amount of time, although it was a very short session. As you know, they said she had a very active mind, so this was very, very beneficial for her to be in this relaxed trance state for this time, and it had been a very, very beneficial session for her. They also said that these sessions should be standard. Everyone on earth should get one to bring them closer to themselves and their higher aspects and on all dimensions. And I mean, I completely agree with that. I do think everyone should have one of these sessions. That's why I do this work. I want to be able to bring this forward for people because it is so beneficial. I mean, I'm only really relaying the information to you through my voice. I didn't experience this session personally. I don't think we have enough words in the human language to really be able to portray what actually goes on in these sessions for people. It is so powerful and so profound, and I know these sessions touch people's souls like nothing else. So yes, since this session, I have been keeping in touch with my client, and she has been saying that she was very deep, so I think it took her a little bit of time to adjust and ground and come back to earth. But she says her back pain is so much better. She says her flow and her spending and all of that is all coming into place. So I think she's really, really happy with the session that she had, and I think it's really lifted and shifted all of that kind of dense energy that was around her that she was needing to get out. So yeah, it was a great session, and I really hope you've enjoyed me telling you about it. I'll do more of these when I do more sessions. And if you yourself would really like to experience one of these sessions or ask me any questions, then please feel free to get in touch. I am happy to discuss any aspect of BQH with anyone. So, and yeah, if you want to have a session, you can go through my website, which is www.rafaelasoulsessions.com. You can go to Facebook, which is Facebook by the same name, Rafaela Soul Sessions. Just type it in. You can, of course, message me here on Facebook if you wish, or yeah, write a comment down below if there's any questions or any information that you would like me to bring forward at this time. I can see if I can access that information for you guys. So yeah, just the usual, like, subscribe, feel free to share this information anywhere if you found it useful. I hope it has been. I'm very glad this take has this is my second take, and I think it's worked, so I'm quite happy about that. again, I just want to send you all so much love. I want to just let you know how grateful I am for the subscribers that I have. Um, it means so much to have people here and listening to the information that I want to bring to you all. And I only hope and pray that this only grows and spreads this wonderful, wonderful time we're in, this wonderful time of being alive. There is so much negativity and fear and dread and confusion in this world, and really we need people bringing forward the light and the love that is truly within us, the true beings that we are, these amazing, powerful beings that we truly are. And I'm so, so glad and grateful that I found this work. So I'm sending you all so much love, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Bye.